Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your readings, which I have lovingly dubbed your mid-year reality check. So just as a forewarning, this is going to be a little bit of tough love. So if you're not in the headspace for tough love, if you don't really want tough love at all, that's completely fine. I am not going to judge you if you decide to tap out right now, because sometimes we just don't want tough love. Sometimes we can't handle tough love. That's absolutely fine. So, for those of you who are sticking around, this is what we're going to look at. It's going to be looking at your wants right now in life, and also the reality of your situation. And there's often a disparity between those things. So we're going to also look then at what mistaken belief your wants have led you to believe is true. And then we're also going to look at the wrong impression that reality is giving you right now. Hopefully to get you a little bit of a different perspective on things. See, maybe it's not as bad as you think it is, that kind of thing. Try to help you, especially if you're feeling stuck. See how you can get out of the situation. And this is something that Spirit has guided me to do for myself lately, and it helped. It was definitely a reality check for sure, but it turned my head back around. You know what I mean? So we're also going to look at the energy that's propelling you forward right now, and then some advice for your highest good moving forward. All right? And hopefully this turns out to be helpful. So, sorry, as I said that, I just realized I did Libra's reading immediately before this, and I completely forgot to give them the energy that's propelling them forward. I still, honestly though, I still feel it was a difficult reading for them all around, so I'm not really sure if that would have helped at all. So if you've got Libra in your chart and you've watched that one, I apologize, but it kind of is what it is at this point. I can't really go back and fix it because that message was so important for Libra. But anyway, let's get into your Scorpio. Where am I cutting your deck? Kind of lower. For those of you who have watched me before, I am still taking the middle card and the bottom of the deck. So don't worry about that, because it absolutely has given so much clarity in these readings that I'm not about to skip it. Just trying to get all of your cards out first before we go anywhere. So you have here, and this is very interesting, you've got Page of Pentacles as the middle, like that middle card from the middle of the deck when I cut. This is the energy that I see is propelling you forward. Or no, sorry, not propelling you forward. This is like the driving force to what's behind the bottom of the deck energy here, which is Knight of Wands. So it is kind of a feeling that you're trying to root yourself in some sort of energy, and I think it's an energy of being a little bit more spontaneous, trying to have a little bit more fun. Also, I will say pages bring news. So you might have recently got some news that is kind of making you a little bit more carefree, which is, I think a good thing. Could all use a little fun here and there. So, but we're just going to dive right in. We're going to see this first card here is your wants, and that is Eight of Swords. So this isn't saying that you want to be, like you want to hold yourself back. It almost feels more like you don't want to have to hold yourself back anymore. You don't want to feel restricted anymore. You want to let that Knight of Wands energy really flow, because it feels as though you have been restricting yourself lately. So it's almost as though like something has given you a little bit of a release of like stress and something like that, if that makes sense. Let's see, the reality of your situation right now is Five of Pentacles. You kind of have to, you kind of have to, like, unfortunately, keep yourself reined in. You want to well, you don't want to. You kind of have to deal with this. And for some of you, it very well could be that there is a lack of money. It could just be that something isn't really working out for you right now. It's really weird. Like, and I totally understand this feeling. Like, I want to go out, I want to do stuff, but I can't afford to do stuff. Like, I absolutely understand that. So let's just see here what your wants have mistakenly led you to believe is true. Queen of Wands is here. Like, it feels as though that there's a sense of, like, I'm having a hard time explaining how this energy is coming through. So I want to get just a few more cards on that Queen of Wands just to see if I can spit it out, because it's really hard. It's almost like I'm hearing you have to quench your fire, which isn't really what you want to hear, right? Like, I understand that Queen of Wands has come out upright. I don't often read reversals, but sometimes the energy still comes through that way, and that's how I have to give you your message. So this is so weird. It's like you want to kind of break out. You want to break free. For some of you, I just heard the world isn't ready for this yet. Be that as it may. I almost, you know what's weird is that this Queen of Wands almost feels like not your energy at all. And I think that's why I'm having such a hard time holding on to it, like grasping it. For some of you, it feels as though, like, the reality of the situation is you're feeling a little ignored right now. You're feeling a little left out. This could be in regards to money. It could just be a sense of isolation and loneliness too, you know? So for some of you, it isn't even that you want to just kind of break out a little bit. It's almost a feeling that you're kind of holding stuff in as well. You want to, like, keep something tamped down. It's such a wild twofold energy here that I'm getting, because at one point, like, on one end, it's just like, I don't want to have to do this anymore. I want to, like, free myself. I want to deal with this person that I find really attractive right now. I really want to do this, and I need to stop leaning on the table because it's making me hammer shake. Like, but on the other hand, you kind of really just tamp that down really, really hard, because, like, there's Page of Emotions here. There's some sort of apology that needs to be laid out, and I don't know if that's for you or for the other person, so take that as it resonates. And simultaneously, there's that Four of Cups where it's just like, but what if I offer and they don't take it, you know? What if I offer and it's just not, like, even acknowledged, you know? Because we also have the Nine of Inspiration, the Nine of Wands, and that's the card of the wounded warrior, someone who, like, doesn't want to give up. And so I feel like, however this is resonating, like, this person is kind of stuck with you. And I don't necessarily mean that in, like, a physical way, like you're attached at the hip, you cannot avoid each other. So, like, and if it's that situation where like, opening up would ruin the relationship, and you don't really want to do that, but at the same time you desperately want to do that, you know what I mean? I think for some of you, even though you do want to open up, whether or not you need to apologize, whether it's more of a sense of you want to actually just open up to this person, you're kind of also worried that you're not going to be taken as you are, you know, like there's still going to be some sort of rejection there. which is interesting. So like it's important to remember that this is a mistaken belief, right? This right here, this Queen of Wands, this like, oh, they're going to reject me. We've been down this road before, but I can't let them go, blah, 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 whatever. That's mistaken belief, okay? And the same is true for this card here, but it's more like the wrong impression that reality is giving to you right now, okay? Which is the Four of Wands. And that almost feels like, if this is in regards to a person that you're almost feeling like, well, they're better off without me. You know, they look fine. They look perfectly happy. They're celebrating. They're, you know what? Yeah. That is super interesting. For others of you where this might have been like, more of like a money issue, you want to do things, but you got to keep that part of you like trapped. You know what I mean? This could just be like, I'm feeling like the grass is greener sort of energy. Like the wrong impression is that if you had the money to do this, to do these things, you would be so happy, you know? You could do so many things and yeah, whatever. But again, these are mistaken beliefs, something that you need to really reevaluate and understand that they're more or less holding you back than anything. So the energy that's propelling you forward right now here is the Emperor, the need to really step up your game, exert control over your life, whether that be completely ignoring this person whatsoever, or really just reining in your budget for some of you, just to see where you can actually afford to, like splurge, like, you know what I mean? Like maybe if you reevaluate your budget, you'll see like maybe you're spending too much somewhere, that you could put towards something else that you really want to do. Like maybe you want to go, I don't know, maybe you want to go to the zoo, but it's like 2 hours away. And you're like, well, gas is really expensive and don't really have the money for that. Plus you need admission. Like maybe there's something that you're doing right now that you could cut out for a couple months and then go to the zoo. You know what I mean? It's just something along those lines. Sorry, I really needed a drink right there. So let's just have a look at your advice here. All right. We have the Sun card, which I think is really good advice. First of all, to give gratitude for what you already have in life. You know, sometimes we forget that things aren't really that bad right now. So like, even if like, we'll go back to the zoo thing. Maybe you really want to go to the zoo and you're so depressed you can't go to the zoo, but like, is it really that big of a deal? You know, are things really that bad? So it's kind of pay gratitude for what you can do right now, and the fact that like, even if you can rearrange your budget and still make it to the zoo, like be grateful that you were able to do that sort of thing, you know. Recognize that whatever steps that you need to take aren't going to happen overnight. Like they're just not. Things often don't really work that way. There still needs to be effort put in and stuff like that. But the good thing about the Knight of Pentacles is even though he takes his time, he still makes it there. He's not overworking his horse at all. He's not really pushing things. He's just taking it one day at a time, and he knows that at this point, it's okay to just enjoy the journey. You don't have to be so gung-ho about getting to the destination, you know? And eventually, this King of Pentacles, it's like you make it there, right? You go from the Knight to the King. That's awesome. Suddenly, you're kind of sitting a little taller, you know? You're able to really handle, again, like if this is finances, like maybe what you've done with your budget, you're just like, well, I should just keep doing this because this has really worked. And suddenly you find yourself in a better place financially. You know, this could even just be saying, if you need advice, don't be afraid to seek out advice. Like if your dad is super good with money, or your mom or your aunt or whatever, like if there is someone in your life, even if they're a friend, whatever, coworker, if you know they're super good with money, don't be afraid to go to them and ask their advice. I feel like they'd be really, really willing to help you, you know. For those of you where you're dealing with a person, this is honestly a call to, like, the Sun card here is be direct, be clear, be open, be honest, because the Sun card is, you know, it's the best card in the deck, and it feels as though there's something here, like, you need to really shine a light on. You need to clear up something. Like, if there's been a miscommunication, clear it up, you know, shed some light on it. However that happens. Recognize, I want to say that even if the Four of Cups does end up being a thing, like, you're still fine. Like, you're still okay. You know what I mean? But there is a sense here, like, all three of these cards combined, it's more of like, if you're worried about this person, you're holding back, you can't really open up to them for whatever reason, but you want to, you really, really want to, but you feel as though they've kind of shut you out. Maybe you think they've blocked you. Maybe you feel like they don't want anything to do with you right now, whatever. Maybe, like, you just need to, Knight of Pentacles, this, come at them correct, you know? Take your time. Don't just, like, barrel on in, I guess I want to say. For some of you, like, don't just text them and just be like, hey, what's up? Like, I feel like you need to acknowledge whatever has gone on that makes you feel this way and is making you hold yourself in. You know what I mean? Like, you need to acknowledge that. You need to come at this correctly. You need to do this with patience. But you still need to be direct and clear. You still need to shed light on whatever it was that happened. Like, I want to say, tell your side of the story, you know? Be honest. Like, I cannot say what went down between the two of you, but if you're feeling Five of Pentacles, I understand that that's not really good. I am leaning towards you're not really in communication right now, so I don't know if maybe you had an argument, maybe, like, they ghosted you. I don't know. But what I do know is that if you really want to open up to this person again, and I feel like you do, I feel like you don't want to hold this in anymore, but you're scared of being rejected, you know, you're scared of getting hurt again, because I feel like this Nine of Wands, this Wounded Warrior card, is just one of those things, like, yeah, been there, done that. I've been hurt so many times in the past, I don't really want to be hurt again. I'm sick of playing this game, I'm sick of doing this dance, you know. But again, let's do this before I get you your oracle cards. In regards to this Queen of Wands person, Scorpio, if you're feeling like you want to open up, you don't really want to hold this in anymore, but you're currently not in contact, you're worried that even if you reach out and open up to them, they'll still reject you. Let's see, if you open up to this person, if you send them a message or whatever, and as I'm saying that, the friggin' Eight of Swords popped out again, because it was more of just like, I don't know if you heard me stumble in my words when that happened, but it was just like, but I'm scared, but I can't, like, there's so much fear surrounding this. I feel that intensely for a lot of you. If you open up to this person, if you message them, you know, how will this work out? I guess I'm going to say. Okay, so bottom of the deck, there is Ace of Voices here, Ace of Swords. There will be a conversation. Underneath that, Two of Cups. Knight of Cups. There, a Page of Materials. Again, there's that message. It's like you want to send this message almost even. Like, there will be a conversation. I feel like there's so much emotion here, so I don't know. I don't know if this is a friend, if this is someone, like, you wanted to be with, but things didn't really align, you know what I mean? The outcome here is just kind of, and don't lose your mind when I come out with these first cards. It gets better from here, okay? Ten of Swords, Five of Cups, okay? But in the Muse Tarot, this is 10 of Voices, right? So there is going to be a conversation here. It might be hard, it might be difficult, especially when it comes to opening up and accepting how the other person is feeling, trying to get them to accept how you felt. There will be an expression here of regrets, of guilt, of loss, sorrow, what have you. It could just be like, this could just be as simple as, I really thought I was never going to see you again. I really thought we were never going to talk again, and that killed me, you know? Just that could be as much as it is. But we got the Six of Cups here again, and I feel like this is almost after you go through this conversation, you'll find within the both of you what you really loved about that person, you know? What really opened you up, how the two of you grew, you know? I feel like there is something between you in the past, especially with that Six of Cups. I don't want to say an ex, but again, take this as it resonates. This could easily just be a friend you haven't spoken to in a really long time. It could be family, even, like a distant cousin or something. I don't know, you guys used to hang out a lot as kids, and you really miss each other, but, you know, stuff, whatever. And the last card we had come out for that is the Star. So there is healing here. You know, there is healing of this. So even if the conversation is initially difficult, but I mean, expressing, geez, I don't know why I can't say that, these emotions is difficult. Like, expressing hurt and loss and sorrow, like, those are all hard things to share with someone, especially if you haven't talked to them for a while. But what comes after looks really nice with that Star. The Star is healing. The Star is hope. The Star is faith, you know. So I really like that. I say go for it. We're going to get you Oracle here. Yeah. So this is awesome. This is super awesome, Scorpio. Bottom of the deck, you have Butterfly Spirit. Transformation is beautiful, right? So there is a transformation in this situation, whether it be with your money or with another person, take it how it resonates. Transformation is the heart of the matter. That was the bottom of the deck. That is the heart of the matter here, okay? So the cards that you had come out here is Groundhog Spirit, time to let go. And I feel like it's time to let go of this fear more than anything. It's time to allow yourself freedom here, right? Because this is self-imposed restriction. Outside of this mirror, there are no birds, there are no strings. She is not blindfolded. She can see. She's not restricted. So it's time to let go of the fear. And you have Rhino Spirit, overcome any obstacle. Okay? So whatever this is, whatever you're fearing, whatever you're afraid of opening yourself up for, you need to let go of the fear. You need to take the leap. You need to go after it, right? Even if it's small steps, you know, even if it's just one thing at a time, just a small thing, like, you know, what small change can you make is what this feels like. But I feel like if you decide to follow this advice, if you decide to move forward like this, if this has changed your perspective at all, these advice cards also kind of give a little bit of what the rest of the year is going to look like for you. Okay, because we're only in June. There's 6 more months in 2022. And I mean, if the next 6 months of my life looked like the Sun, the Knight of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles, I would be ecstatic. Okay, especially because the Sun is the best card in the deck, and it brings a lot of hope and happiness to, like, the cards surrounding it. Okay, Knight of Pentacles is taking those small steps, going on your journey. King of Pentacles is getting there. It's achieving that. It is being comfortable materially and spiritually, physically, spiritually, all of that. So this is honestly an awesome reading for you, Scorpio. It really is. So I hope this resonates with you. If it does, please drop a like down below. It lets me know as a tarot reader I've tapped into your energies, which is very important for me because I do strive to give the most accurate message that I possibly can. I hope you all have a good rest of your year. Take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you in the next one.